I traveled up north to Sweden on my own to live there for a few months. I wanted to know how life feels there. Would I feel differently, living closer to nature? I could have never imagined the things that actually made me feel different and gave me what I needed in that moment. And I know it's been a while since my previous video, but here is the second part of my journey up north. It's the beginning of July and I'm already in Sweden for 1.5 months now. I'm feeling both completely where I need to be, but honestly completely lost at the same time. I'm craving structure again, to feel more at peace in my body as I'm moving through uncertainty of where life will take me. I had spent the previous 5 weeks in this beautiful herbal farm in the north of Sweden to work there in the garden and as a photographer in exchange for food and a place to sleep, surrounded by people that started to feel like family to me. And then it was time to move on again. I had already booked an Airbnb in advance next to this beautiful lake that had this amazing wooden scent the moment you stepped in. And it made me feel right at home. It's exactly the type of place I had imagined myself living in if I'd ever moved to Sweden. And my friend from the garden, Danielle, joined me for the first day before she continued on her own journey more up north. And then for the first time in a while, I was alone again. And as the darker nights were slowly returning here in Sweden, so too was a feeling of doubt and uncertainty creeping up on me again. I had hoped that being surrounded by this beautiful nature, that it would magically wash all those feelings away the moment it would arise. But that was not at all the case. If anything, it brought it even more up to the surface. Which actually gave a lot of clarity, that even in the best of circumstances, with all of my efforts, I couldn't fix or take away these feelings. So maybe I didn't have to. Maybe there is another way of looking at it. In my late 20s, I've been thinking a lot about this, about my path in life, where I want to live, what it is that I want to do, and how I want to contribute to this world. I have an idea, but it felt like the puzzle pieces haven't quite fallen into place yet, leaving me feeling overwhelmed and uncertain at times. But what was certain now is that I had this time on my own in this cabin, something that I dreamed of for so long. So instead of trying to get rid of any feelings, I said, you know what, I'm going to focus on the things that excite me and that I want to bring in instead. And that made me feel really empowered. Today's a very exciting day because I'm gonna go back to the farm on top of the hill because they have this like ootkulle week. I'm probably completely pronouncing this wrong, but it's like a week of summer activities, and I will be there today to photograph. And I'm just so excited to see everyone again and to see what they've been doing since I've been gone.
Natural style.
Supernatural. And one of the things they did was completely change this barn, which they had emptied the week when I left. And now the atmosphere in there is completely changed. They filled it with so many bits and pieces, most of them that they found in secondhand shops, making it feel like there's something to discover in every corner. And it's a perfect place to shelter on these days when it was still above 30 degrees.
Nej, jag avskyr lakrits tyvärr.
And it's in these moments that I feel so fortunate to work as a photographer, that I can just walk around, observe people, life. There's something really calming in just observing it all and finding different angles to capture a story and capture beauty. So I finished editing my video, but quite late, I think at 2 a.m. I was like, you know what, I might as well stay up to see the sunrise, because I haven't seen the sunrise yet so far in Sweden. And the sunrise is around 3:30 now. So, and it's already super, super bright outside. And one of the first things I thought when I arrived in this Airbnb is that this place is way too beautiful to have on my own. So I started reaching out to people who live here in Sollefteå, some of them who I actually met at the store opening of Jonna Jinten. And I quickly found out that there's this community of people that live in town or nearby, and some of them actually met through an event organized by Kalle. Kalle is another well-known YouTuber here in the area, and he had organized a few events where people can experience the life here in the north. And all I can say is that I think each and every one of them is so incredibly brave for making the move to change their lives and come up here. And I just wanted to know all about their stories of how they got here and what it's like living here in Sweden.
Quite opposite.
It wasn't always easy, but what you get in return, the quietness, the more simplistic way of living, the nature around, made it all worth it to them. And I didn't used to be the type of person who would just reach out to other people. I was quite shy in that sense, but photography, and portrait photography especially, has helped me grow more in confidence. Because a camera is a great tool to explore the world and engage with and learn from people whom I might otherwise never have met. Like at Midsummer Day, when I met a local craftsman. I was still working at the herbal garden at this point when we went to some festivities in town. And that's where I met Johannes. He stood out to me because he was wearing this traditional outfit that he had made himself. And he does all kinds of heritage crafts. And he told me that he has lived in this town all of his life, which I found so interesting. I wanted to know all about what it's like growing up in a place like this. So I offered him to take some photos at his workplace, because I was also really curious to see how he makes it all.
As I said, I make these sort of lumps that grow on trees. Usually when I first get them, their wood is still fresh and moist, you know. But then I can't just make it straight out of fresh wood and be done, because then when it dries out, it will shrink and it might crack then.
And later on in my journey, when I moved out of the Airbnb, I moved to another place, back into the town of Nesakar. And that's where I met him again. I have always dreamed of having my own real wooden wand, and he said he could make me one. And during this time, we talked about all kinds of things, about his life and my life, about the Urkel festival here in town that impressively he had only missed once in all the 29 years. And I just packed my bags, ready to move yet again to another place, when I thought back to our conversations, when I felt this sudden rush of inspiration coming over at me. I didn't only see the craftsman now, but also the person behind it. So I wanted to capture that side of him too. So I went back on an impulse to make these portraits of him. And exactly at this point, the sun came out as well, very similar to the light I often create in my studio back home. And I think this is also a way for me of saying thank you for the friend he has been to me and showing me a bit of his world. And I realized I may have traveled alone to Sweden to explore the life here, but I wasn't at all alone. I was surrounded by so many beautiful people who feel a similar curiosity of exploring the life closer to nature, to find calm, to be inspired, not only here in Sweden, but online as well. And through it, I felt so supported in my own journey, feeling like this sense of community around me. I had collected cards at secondhand shops, something I really like to do, and I knew at one point I'm going to write out my thoughts and my gratitude to all these people. And as my time in Sweden came to an end, I took myself on a date to Kusten to let my thoughts wander and let all these feelings sink in. I took my cards with me and I started writing out these letters of gratitude. So many times I'm wondering about the point of life, thinking it might be found in a place or where everything falls into place, where I can just live without any worry. But now I start to see life more as like a movie that's already been pressed on play. It's already happening. The point is already here. Everything is in motion. And that's exactly the point of it all. To learn, to grow, to love, to just be here in this life. And this gave me so much peace. And when I was driving back, I was listening to the song by Venice in which they sing, "Maybe there is not one point at all per se. You are a river, and every now and then you will find where you belong. There will be joy, and maybe that's the point."
How lucky are we?
And just like in the movies, where everything and everyone comes together, where all is well, that's how my summer in Sweden came to an end too. At the Urkel festival in the town of Nesakar, where only 500 people live, was now filled with thousands of people. And almost everyone that I met on my journey was there.
For act of emotion.
And introducing my friends to my other new friends is definitely one of those points in life. And so was seeing the most magical sunset. I couldn't believe this was all real. It felt like I was in a dream that I didn't want to wake up from. But after 2.5 months, it was time for me to leave Sweden again. But if there's one thing that Sweden has shown me, is that life will find ways of bringing magic into your life. But the scary part is that sometimes you have to believe in that magic before it's there, to take that leap of faith and move through the unknown for a while. And I was yet again stepping into the unknown, not quite sure what's ahead of me, but this time I could surrender to that feeling a little bit more, trusting that my story hasn't ended, but that a new chapter was just beginning.